Community banks are so critically important because of what I would call relationship banking. Not only do they provide credit to the communities that they serve in, but they have strong relationships with their communities. My name is Gavin. I'm the director of the Idaho Department of Finance, headquartered in Boise. I have been with the department for just about 39 years and director for over 20 years now. Our department regulates the banking industry and 14 other industries. We have only community banks, and so that range in assets ranges from about $1 billion in assets down to about 300,000 in assets. Well, I think Idaho without community banks would be a much different place than it is today, because community banks have played a very critical role in the development of these communities. Obviously, financing is a very key role to any community. Having somebody that's willing to finance startup businesses or allow businesses to expand, and that's exactly what community banks do. Chobani Yogurt set up here just a few years ago and built that amazing new facility. That created all kinds of related businesses for them, and many of those businesses, of course, are financed by community banks, whether it's dairy industry or packaging or all the products that go into making yogurt. So that's a big part, I think, of why Chobani chose to locate in Idaho. As a community grows and we have businesses grow, the community banks are very much a part of that growth and very involved in their communities and economic development. Another thing our community banks do that I'm very pleased with is a number of them offer financial literacy programs, working to educate not only their customers but their communities. Idaho First Bank is headquartered in McCall, Idaho, and they just recently sponsored what we call a Scam Jam, which is an opportunity to invite the community to learn about the latest scams and how to avoid those scams. Several agencies like ours were involved in that. Our particular agency had classes on how to avoid securities fraud, how to avoid other financial frauds. So from my perspective, if we didn't have that, if community banks went away, that would negatively impact in a very significant way a lot of those communities that are so dependent upon community banks. Recently, a big bank pulled out of Paul, Idaho. They were the only bank in the community, and Paul really wanted a bank, and D.L. Evans filled that niche, opened a branch office there just recently. I was able to attend the grand opening of that bank, and you'd have thought the most popular rock star in the country was there that day. The community showed up in force. It was a big celebration and party, and they were just thrilled to have D.L. Evans now as the only bank in their community. I think community banks have just been so critical to the success of those communities, and when a community bank is gone, that community suffers significantly. Community banks are often that backbone for the success of a community and all that a community is about.